Yo, what's up? You on spec, guys.
What's up guys, Pierre Andre is back. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera kepada korang yang menonton channel Andre Brothers. Korang memang awesome guys. Yes, we are back dengan kita punya video react. Apa khabar korang? Adakah korang dalam keadaan sihat? Kalau sihat, Alhamdulillah, syukur kepada Allah atas nikmat kesihatan yang Allah berikan kepada kita semua guys. Okay guys, sedikit peringatan untuk kita semua. Bulan Ramadan ni dah masuk penghujung dah guys. So dah tinggal beberapa hari je lagi. Seperti yang aku selalu ingatkan diri aku guys, aku tahu kita semua nak cari redha Allah, kita semua nak cari rahmat Allah. So jom kita cuba guys, 10 malam terakhir ni, jom kita try cuba sebaik mungkin. Kalau kita dapat bangun malam kan, solat, InsyaAllah, mana tahu kita ditemukan dengan malam Lailatul Qadar guys. Allah Akbar, itulah satu rahmat yang paling besar guys, InsyaAllah. Okay guys, malam ni slot aku, apa lagi kalau bukan react kan. So tanpa kita lengahkan banyak masa, jom kita straightforward react kita punya video daripada Nukes Top 5. Okay, jom. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera. A lighthouse keeper. If you're one of the very few people who have never watched BuzzFeed Unsolved on YouTube, the series can basically be summarized like this. It's sort of a ghost hunting show, but not a typical one. The show has two hosts, Ryan and Shane. Now, Shane is a diehard skeptic of the paranormal.
Anytime there's like any chance of sort of any kind of mechanical failure or just doors in general, people are always like, well, the door opens, so that's ghost. I don't want to argue with you on this. If you find it compelling, I'm happy for you.
I do find it compelling. Yeah, great. I'm happy for me too.
Good.
And then there's Ryan, who is the polar opposite, and might even be just a bit too scared of the supernatural.
Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid.
Dia ada dua host guys untuk rancangan ni. Seorang memang percaya hantu, seorang langsung tak percaya hantu guys.
Allegedly haunted places and investigate to search for real paranormal evidence.
This week on BuzzFeed Unsolved, we investigate St. Augustine Lighthouse as part of our ongoing investigation into the question, are ghosts real?
No.
In this episode, they are investigating the notoriously haunted St. Augustine Lighthouse in Florida. The lighthouse was completed in 1874 and has seen its fair share of tragedy over the nearly 200 years that it has been guiding sailors home from the sea. BuzzFeed Unsolved hosts Ryan and Shane begin their investigation at the historic Lightkeeper's house, which is right beside the lighthouse. People say that they have heard the endless and painful coughing of the spirit of a man named William Harn. He was the very first keeper of the lighthouse back in the 1800s. Harn tragically passed away inside the house of malaria and the lung disease tuberculosis. When they try to reach out to the spirit of William, the two friends capture something truly bizarre.
Alright, we're gonna give you some silence here, William. If there's anything you'd like to say to us, maybe a message you wish you could have communicated before you left Earth. I'm gonna sit on one of these little tiny chairs that make me look like you. Gonna give you some silence right now.
Tu bunyi jam guys. Macam dia dengar batuk guys
Ryan and Shane captured the unexplained sound of someone coughing, just like guests claim to have heard in the past. Could this be the spirit of William, who died of tuberculosis? Next, Ryan and Shane finally enter the actual lighthouse, which is said to be a hotbed of paranormal activity.
The best ghost evidence of all time, in my opinion, or at least some of it, has been caught right here in this little rotunda. I mean, they caught an apparition full out, just peeking over the railing.
It is said that paranormal investigators always have an experience in the lighthouse when they are alone. So to test this theory, both Ryan and Shane will be locked inside separately to investigate. Shane heads in first for his solo investigation, but he doesn't really experience much.
Alright, so I'm going in there, I'm going to the top.
Yeah.
I'm coming back down.
Yeah, that's the What'd you do in a staircase? Yeah.
Sounds good. This is high time for a ghoul to come out and spook me. So far, no ghouls. This is allegedly the site of a lot of FBAs or full-bodied apparitions. I feel nothing. I really don't. I don't get any
Dia ni yang tak percaya hantu tu guys.
I haven't felt anything strange all night. Alright, see you later, dudes.
Next, it's Ryan's turn. And now, before we proceed, it should be noted here that during the building of the lighthouse, a young girl named Eliza tragically lost her life while playing at the construction site. Visitors have reported seeing a young girl in a red dress inside the lighthouse who just faded away into thin air right before their eyes.
Everyone who's gone in there has seen something, for the most part, if they've gone by themselves. You know what? I'm eager to add my name to that roster.
Bye.
Oh, boy. Is there anybody in here with me right now?
Oh boy.
My name is Ryan. What? Can you say my name back to me?
Dia sebut
Oh my
Eliza
God,
guys.
I heard Eliza.
Eliza yang budak yang mati kat kawasan ni guys.
Eliza? Why do you sound like that? Oh my God, I'm panicking, here... I do hear you. Oh my God, it's hard to hear me, I got the chills. Why am I leaving? What the is that what you just said? Because I'm scared, that's why. Sayonara, you had your chance. Turn off your radio. I almost had a panic attack.
Did you? You are wet.
I said, who's up here? What's your name? And it's just so clear, just Eliza.
Ryan is freaked out as he gets some very weird direct responses on his spirit box. One of the answers being Eliza, the name of the child that passed away at the lighthouse. Now, Shane, on the other hand, didn't capture anything and is completely unimpressed with the whole location. But after the video is uploaded to YouTube, many viewers pointed out that skeptical Shane might have actually caught the most compelling and absolutely chilling evidence of all.
This is high time for a ghoul to come out and spook me. So far, no ghouls.
Did you see it?
Apa guys?
Watch again.
This is high time for a ghoul to come out and spook me.
Aku nampak guys, kat bawah tu ada shadow.
A dark figure of a man can be seen standing at the bottom of the lighthouse. When the footage is brightened, the man has no distinguishable features and looks more like a black mass
Ui,
than a
scary
person.
guys, meremang aku guys.
Now, Shane was completely alone inside the lighthouse when he filmed. So just who or what is this? Could it be the ghost of one of the many deceased keepers who are said to haunt the lighthouse? You decide.
Scary guys, ini scary.
Alright, see you later, dudes.
The final night. Alexander Labuzov from Russia says that he's been living in the same apartment for over 3 years, when suddenly and inexplicably, strange paranormal things began to happen around his home. Loud, unexplained noises would wake him up in the middle of the night. Things around the house would move on their own. And scariest of all, one night when he was in bed, sound asleep, someone or something suddenly grabbed onto his wrist, squeezing hard. He jerked his arm away and lurched out of bed, searching his room. But there was no one there. He says that the paranormal activity in his apartment just increased over time, until eventually he decided to just move out.
Dia pindah
So
guys, dia tak
Alex
tahan
is
kot.
set to move out of his apartment the next day, but he decides to try to record the strange supernatural activity one last time. This video was meant to be Alex's last night in his apartment. First, he sits in front of his camera and explains what's been going on in his apartment. As he's talking, he hears something strange.
Я сразу же вскочил, включил свет. Это не может не напугать.
Ada macam bunyi guys. Bunyi kerusi apa? Dia dah biasa dengar bunyi ni guys.
Похож.
Something moves somewhere in the apartment, and Alex believes it might have been the kitchen cabinet door. He decides to set up his camera in his bedroom and leaves for 2 hours to meet up with a friend.
Алло. Да, сейчас приеду, ага. Давай.
Alex turns off the light and leaves. But what happens while he's gone is truly bizarre.
Okay, pintu. Okay, dia main pintu guys. Tapi rumah dia pun aura dia lain macam lah guys. Wow, dia gerak guys. Scary guys, dia punya gerak tu guys.
Alex returns home and just goes to bed. The next day, he discovers that his landlord is unavailable to pick up his apartment keys. And after reviewing his footage, Alex is unsatisfied with the potato-quality video he has recorded in his dark apartment. So, he decides to stay one more night.
Oh, dia
This
stay
time
satu malam
leaving
lagi
the
lah
camera
guys.
recording, but with the lights on. Just like the night before, he again leaves to meet up with a friend. The camera captures something downright creepy.
Kali ni dia tak tutup lampu guys, dia buka. Apa benda tu? Macam wire guys. Kabel lah. Ui, dia baling barang guys. Memang korang ajar binatang ni guys. Ni kalau dah start boleh gerak-gerakkan barang. Kenapa dia main kamera pula? Ya Allah.
Alex is shocked when he comes home as he discovers that his camera has somehow flipped upside down all on its own. He grabs the camera and begins to film his thoughts on the strange situation. What happens next is absolutely terrifying.
Я смотрю, у нас сегодня рыбный день. Охереть вообще. Что там осталось? Слушай, ну вообще жесть. Ну что могу сказать? Это был последний день, поэтому мы уже...
Guys, nampak macam ada benda guys. Ya Allah, aku nampak kaki dia. Macam ada kaki yang pakai kasut hitam, kalau tak silap aku.
Tu srač, ki jih bil.
Ui, meremang bulu roma aku guys. Ni scary guys.
Это можно вообще. Блядь. Так.
A pair of legs can be seen standing right behind Alex in the doorway. The legs
Ya
appear to have no torso and
Allah.
disappear before Alex can even turn around. So, did Alex capture proof of the paranormal in his apartment? Or is it illusion?
Meremang bulu roma
That is
guys.
up to you to decide. Viewer videos. Ethan Budzinski was on a family vacation in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania when strange things began to happen in his rented Airbnb home. Late one night, Ethan and his family hear the sound of a baby crying from somewhere in the house. Now Ethan's two young nephews are asleep in bed upstairs, so he immediately runs up to check on them, only to find that they are both quietly asleep in bed. This occurs several times. Ethan hears crying, then goes upstairs to find the children quietly asleep.
Habis siapa
So
yang
the
nangis
next
ni?
time Ethan hears the crying, he pulls out his phone and starts recording.
Ada bunyi baby menangis, tapi bila dia check, anak dia ke anak saudara dia dah tidur. Bukan dia orang. Habis suara siapa
Did you hear it too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just went up there. It sounded so.
Okay, that's what I heard.
Budak-budak ni semua tidur guys.
The eerie sound of a child crying can indeed be heard coming from somewhere upstairs. Both Ethan and a family member hear the sound, but when he heads upstairs to check, just like before, the children are fast asleep and not making a sound. So just where is this strange, unexplained crying coming from? Let me know what you think down in the comments. British Nukes Top by viewer who wishes to remain anonymous, we'll call her Jen, says that she had a chilling experience that wasn't paranormal, but was terrifying nonetheless. And as I've personally always said on this channel, real people can be much scarier than anything supernatural.
Betul.
So, late one night around midnight, Jen starts receiving messages from a guy on Facebook. At first, she plays along, but the messages from the stranger just get creepier and creepier. I'll correct some of the typos and slang and save you from listening to me doing a terrible British accent, but what you see on screen are the actual messages. So, at one point, the guy suddenly writes, "Well, since you're up, can I come and meet you then? Yes, I am mental. I'm on my way down to your house. I'll ring when I'm outside." Thinking he's joking, Jen laughs it off, writing back, "You don't even know where I live." And then the guy starts trying to creepily call her on Facebook, because it turns out that he does actually know exactly where she lives.
Aduh.
He types, "You live next to my granny's house on the corner." Then he continues to call her, and things go from bad to worse, because he actually shows up right in front of her house.
Dia dah dekat depan
"Don't
rumah
make
guys.
me knock, please," he messages. "I'm outside the center window right now." Jen is now understandably completely freaked out. She tells the guy that she is not coming out under any circumstances, but he won't take no for an answer. Is that your window at the front? How do I get in your back garden? Jen
It's scary,
replies,
guys.
You don't, and ends the conversation. But it did not end there. Jen says the disturbed young man stood in front of her house for almost 2 hours. He eventually left after her family members went outside and told him to leave or they would call the police. So I guess the takeaway is either be careful who you talk to online, or simply Facebook sucks. Susan's Courtside Cafe in Kissimmee, Florida was originally built in 1912, and over most of the last 100 years, the building was actually a small home for many families and individuals. Locals believe that the building the cafe is in is haunted by the spirits of its former residents. Workers at the cafe say that they often hear unexplained noises while working late at night, and both the staff and visitors claim to have seen bizarre shadow figures throughout the restaurant. Nukes Top 5 viewer Valerie Ann says that she went on a Halloween ghost tour in Kissimmee that stopped at the allegedly haunted Susan's Courtside Cafe, and it seems that the rumors of paranormal activity might be true. Valerie caught this strange footage.
Sorry.
I just saw something walk by.
Really?
Did you see it?
Apa benda guys? Aku tak nampak
It's
guys.
a little hard to make out, but a dark figure seems to quickly pass through the cafe dining room before just disappearing.
Nampak macam shadow guys.
Someone in the
Shadow
tour
hitam.
mentions it, but Valerie Ann is shocked when she discovers that she actually caught the apparition on camera. She says that she has no idea who or what this mysterious figure could be. But what do you think?
Scary
The
guys.
home of the Jinn. One of the OG Saudi
Okay.
door-kicking ghost hunters that I first featured on this channel, Adventurer Allah, is back with an all-new YouTube channel. In this live stream, Allah goes to investigate a large abandoned building that is said to be haunted by an evil presence, or Jinn. As he broadcasts his exploration live, things take a terrifying turn.
يا جماعة هاي شيء أنا ما أشوفه على طول على الخاص. بسم الله. بسم الله. الله أكبر.
Tak tahulah kenapa kalau aku tengok Arab punya, dia punya seram tu lain macam lah guys. Sebab dia orang faham tau, ini permainan jin tau. Jadi yo. Dia tak bagi keluar guys.
Even though there's no power in the building, the ceiling fan begins to rotate on its own. Then a heavy table falls over right behind Allah. Freaked out, he runs away, retreating to a different section of the large building. But little does Allah know, things are about to get even creepier.
حسبي الله. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض.
Dia tengok guys. Ya
من ذا الذي
Allah.
يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه. يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم. ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض. ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
Oh ni remang bulu remang aku guys. Bergegar tiang tu guys.
من كان في هذا المكان سحر فابطله. الله أكبر.
Tercampak yang apa tu?
حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل فيكم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض.
A terrifying dark mist-like figure can be seen in a doorway, and a pair of crutches aggressively flies across the room right in front of the terrified explorer. He investigates the area, but nothing there. The mysterious dark mist has simply disappeared. But it's not over yet.
بسم الله اللهم إن كان هذا سحر فابطله اللهم إن كان هذا سحر فابطله اللهم إن كان في سحر مدفون فابطله اللهم إن كان في سحر معقود فابطله. في صوت أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. في السماء وهو السميع العليم. اللهم كان رسالا فابطل اللهم كان.
Oi, cuak dah mamat ni. Kalau aku dah keluar dah daripada rumah ni.
On its own, then another ceiling fan begins to rotate, and a large heavy closet moves as if pushed by some powerful unseen force. Something is thrown at Allah, injuring his foot, and after that, he's had about enough. Allah decides to just get out of there and ends his live stream. So did adventurer Allah capture a real haunting by a terrifying jinn? Or is it all just a very elaborate hoax? You decide. Return to the Red House. Paranormal investigator Kevin Barranco from the YouTube channel Archivo Extinto returns to explore the historic La Casa Colorada, or the Red House, in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Kita pernah react ni dulu guys. Tapi aku rasa ni dia pergi balik sekali lagi.
And secluded location became a place where cults performed dark rituals. Those brave enough to explore the old house claim to have seen witches, demons, and even the skeletal female figure of Santa Muerte, a Mexican saint who is said to wear a long cloak and be the personification of death itself. Now, 2 months ago, I featured Kevin's first visit to the Red House years ago. While exploring the house with his friends, the group captured something that they simply couldn't explain.
Por todas las paredes hay frases, no sé, quizás unas por vandalismo, otras por sectas. La verdad es que no desconocemos el significado y la verdad es que no queremos saber sobre ello.
Aquí hace mucho frío, ¿eh?
Sí, hace bastante.
Aquí hace mucho frío, ¿eh?
Ya Allah guys, benda tu melintas guys. Dia menunduk macam tu, macam nenek kebayan guys. Allah Allah.
Hace bastante.
Cut to 2 years later. After many requests from his fans, paranormal investigator Kevin returns to the quote, Red House, in hopes of capturing even more paranormal evidence. But this time, he decides to go back, all alone. As you might guess, it did not go well.
Oh, kali ni dia pergi
Kevin
seorang
sets up
guys.
several static cameras around the house.
Cari
and he lights
penyakit.
3 candles and starts to ask questions to who or whatever might be haunting the abandoned home. Kevin is using an English spirit box app and translates the responses to Spanish. Before long, very strange things start to happen.
Voy a utilizar
Scarlett, ¿podrías hacerme daño?
Throw. No sé qué es throw. Lo voy a buscar. Lanzar. ¡Ay, cabrón!
As Kevin repeats the word throw in Spanish, a heavy piece of rubble is seemingly thrown off the edge of a large hole in the wall. Kevin grabs his camera and walks through the building in search of anything paranormal.
Ada bunyi macam bunyi pintu guys.
Me he quedado sin luz. Me quedé sin luz. Sin luz. Sin luz.
Apa benda guys?
Sin luz.
Oh macam ada tangan guys.
The ghost hunter's light begins to fail. Then he hears a noise and turns. Without knowing it at the time, he captures something strange in the darkness, quickly darting out of sight. Soon after, Kevin's camera begins to malfunction and things take an even more terrifying turn.
Mi cámara está trabada. Y vean, vean. Vean esto. Mi cámara está trabada.
Kamera dia terus jam guys. Hang terus
Está
kot.
trabada. Se trabó. Está completamente trabada, vean. La voy a apagar. No.
Gila lah hang terus kamera dia guys.
Ahí se apagó, pero sigue trabada. ¿Me quieres hacer daño? Voy a cambiarla. Voy a sacarle la pila. Ya.
Bunyi apa ada lagi guys.
Kevin's camera completely locks up, and as he changes the battery, a wailing moan can be heard, followed by the mysterious voice of a woman.
Ya.
He goes to investigate and captures what appears to be the same mysterious cloaked figure that the Archivo Extinto team captured just 2 years earlier. Kevin searches the building and the grounds, but he doesn't find anyone or anything. When his equipment continues to malfunction repeatedly, he decides he's had enough. He packs up and just gets out of there. So could it be that Kevin captured the apparition of Santa Muerte, the cloaked Lady of Death? Let me know what you think. You can watch this full 3-part investigation over on the YouTube channel, Archivo Extinto. Thanks for watching. Please follow me on the Instagram, here, and on the Twitter, here, and even next week.
Okay guys, itu dia kita punya video daripada Nukes Top 5. Dan aku tak nafikan video kali ni banyak yang seram-seram guys. Kalau kau ingat yang tadi tu, antara yang awal yang daripada Russian tu kan, rumah dia tu kata dah 3 tahun dah dia duduk situ. So far okay, tak ada masalah. Tiba-tiba datang permasalahan yang dia pun tak tahu pada mana datang ni guys. Tiap-tiap malam dia dengar bunyi benda yang pelik-pelik, sampailah dia buat rakaman tu guys. Yang paling aku terkejut tu guys adalah kita nampak kasut dan seluar je, tak ada badan guys. Allah Akbar. Dan ada yang Pak Arab tu kan, Allah tu kan, tu pun seram lah. Sebab memang tak nafikan kalau YouTubers Ghost Hunter ni, kalau pada Arab ni memang seram lah. Pasal dia orang faham benda yang gangguan ni semua adalah gangguan daripada jin kan. Jadi kita pun memang tahu benda tu memang permainan jin. Jadi aura dia memang itulah sepatutnya lah. Dan last tadi tu memang sebelum ni kita pernah react yang The Red House Ghost Hunter pada Mexico Ya kot. So kali ni dia repeat balik, dia pergi seorang-seorang. Dan pada aku tu tak tahulah nak kata berani ke atau tindakan bodoh lah. Tapi walau macam mana pun terima kasih kat diorang juga. Pasal diorang lah kita dapat tengok footage macam ni guys. Dan kita boleh nampak kelibat semacam lembaga hitam, tapi bentuk dia macam nenek kebayan pun ada guys. So itulah dia guys. Aku harap korang terhibur dengan video kali ni. Mana yang belum follow lagi, pergi follow Nukes Top 5, pergi subscribe dan layan dululah video kat sana kalau kau nak layan. Tapi kalau nak layan dengan aku, Alhamdulillah, kita layan sama-sama guys. So seperti biasa, mana tengok pada awal sampai habis, aku ucapkan jutaan terima kasih. Aku doakan supaya korang panjang umur, murah rezeki dan dipermudahkan segala urusan dunia dan akhirat. Sehingga kita jumpa lagi kita punya next video. Korang jaga diri baik-baik, stay safe, stay cool guys. Korang memang awesome. Ciao.